You can see the screen. Hello. Huh? You all can see this. Huh? Yes. Hello. You cannot see the screen. Yes. Now. Hello. Huh? You can see the screen. Huh? They cannot see the screen. Yes. Dogच दिसतोय त्यांना नाही दिसत आहे. कसला डॉग? तुझा डॉग. तुझ्या व्हॉट्सअपचा. हा डॉग. Now. Hello. Now you can see, na? Hello. Now you can see. Hello. Now see the formulas I have given you yesterday. You have to learn those formulas. Hydrogen H, then oxygen is O, carbon is C, then lead is Pb, Cu is copper, Fe is ferrous or iron, then H is sulfur, Ca is calcium, P is phosphorus, K is potassium, Zn is zinc, Ba is barium, Cl is chlorine, Ag is silver, Au is gold, then Na is sodium, N is nitrogen, Mg is magnesium, Mn is manganese, Cr is chromium, Hg is mercury, and Ni is nickel. Now these are the symbols. More are there, but at least this you learn because these are used in your studies. Now which are the compounds, the formulas of the compounds also you must learn. Like H2O is water, CO2 is carbon dioxide, SO2 is sulfur dioxide, H2S is hydrogen sulfide, then CuSO4. Yes, any problem? Any problem is there? Then mute yourself. Mute yourself. CuSO4 is copper sulfate, AgCl is silver chloride, AgNO3 is silver nitrate, NO2 is nitrogen dioxide, NH3 is ammonia, then NH4Cl is ammonium chloride. These two were not written. There are so many of them are there. H2O2 is hydrogen peroxide, then C6H12O6 is glucose or fructose, then C12H22O11 is sugar, then ZnSO4 is zinc sulfate, FeSO4 is iron sulfate or ferrous sulfate. I have already sent yesterday also on the WhatsApp. So you can copy down from the WhatsApp also and learn those. Now how to learn? You have to write down this. Don't just mug up. Because the capital letter, small letter, the same way you have to write. Okay, where it is given capital, you have to write capital. Where the small letters are there you have to write the small letter. Where the numbers are there. So according to that, you have to learn. So you write down 3-4 times, so you will learn this. Okay. So ferrous sulfate is FeSO4 or you can say iron sulfate. Then NaOH is sodium hydroxide. Then K2Cr2O7 is potassium dichromate. MgO is magnesium oxide. Then MnO2 is manganese dioxide. Then CaCO3 is calcium carbonate or you can write marble pieces. or Shahavat stone. Then NaCl is sodium chloride or salt. Then CaCl2 is calcium chloride. K2SO4 is potassium sulfate. BaSO4 is barium sulfate. Now, which are the strong acids? That also you should know the formulas, like hydrochloric acid, or you can say hydrogen chloride acid. So that is HCl. See how it is written: H is capital, C is capital, and L is small. So HCl, then H2SO4, that is H2SO4 is sulfuric acid, then HNO3, that is nitric acid. Then strong bases also you must know. NaOH is sodium hydroxide, the KOH is potassium hydroxide, then CaOH twice is calcium hydroxide. Then weak acid also, CH3COOH, that is acetic acid. Now these are some of the compounds and the formulas I have given you. This way, at least basic these are there, so you start learning this. Go on writing every day, at least once or twice, so you will learn. Now yesterday someone asked me that we have to learn by heart. So by heart is what in SSC you cannot just mug up. You have to read and write, learn and write down. That is the best method, so that it will fix in your mind and you will never forget. Now yesterday I have taught you the different types of equations. I told you that simple examples I'll give you. Now you know the types of chemical reactions. First is the combination reaction. So what is combination reaction? That also yesterday I have told you. When two or more reactants combines together, it forms a single product. Okay, so that is called combination reaction. So I have given you the simple example here. 1 minute, I'll just share the screen. You can see the first example of the combination reaction I have given you. H2 plus O2. Yesterday I have discussed with you. So that is equals to H2O. But then how to balance it? Yesterday I was explaining you about the balancing of the equation also. So we'll start with a simple example. Now you know that hydrogen and oxygen combines together to form a water molecule. So first you must know the molecular formula of hydrogen, molecular formula of oxygen, and molecular formula of water. Okay. Now left hand side always we write the reactants and the right hand side we write the products. So left hand side I have written H2 plus O2. You can see the screen, correct? So H2 plus O2 is written on the left hand side and arrow is shown in between that, and on the right hand side H2O is written. Okay. Now you count the number of atoms of each. Okay. Each element you count the number of atoms. Now here on the left hand side, hydrogen 2 atoms are there, plus oxygen 2 atoms are there. Then on the right hand side products you see hydrogen 2 atoms are there, but oxygen only 1 atom is there. Okay, that means this equation is not balanced. So what you have to do, now you cannot write instead of that, you cannot change the formula, you cannot write H2O2. Okay, so formula of water, you know the product is water, the formula of water is H2O. So what you have to do, now when you will write 2H2O2, so here you see left hand side also you have to change. So left hand side also in front of H2 you write 2. Okay. So now your equation is 2H2 plus O2 equals 2. Now in front of H2O also you write 2. So when you are writing in front of H2O2, that 2 is for H2 also. So 2 2s are 4. So H is 4. Hydrogen atoms are 4 on the right hand side, and oxygen, this 2 which is written in front of H2O, that is for oxygen also. So you have to multiply by 2 to the oxygen also. So 4 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms. Now here on the left hand side Now 4 hydrogen atom and 2 oxygen atoms are there. So now it is balanced. Okay. Now second example is given, that is H plus O2, that is SO2. Now H plus O2 is SO2, that is sulfur dioxide. Sulfur plus oxygen, it forms sulfur dioxide. That is why I told you yesterday, simple examples to write where you don't have to balance only. It is already balanced. Now see left hand side, H plus O2 is written. That means sulfur 1 atom is there, oxygen 2 atoms are there. Okay. On the right hand side, sulfur dioxide. Formula of sulfur dioxide is SO2. So here sulfur is 1 and oxygen is also 2. So both the sides the same number of atoms are there of each element. So that means it is a balanced equation. So here these two examples you can write as a example of combination reaction. Okay. Now one more example is, there are so many examples I have written in types of chemical reactions. Now combination reaction, 1 minute, I'll share the screen. Now see the types of chemical reactions. The first combination reaction, as you know, when 2 or more reactants combines together, it forms a single product. So I have written here 4 or 5 examples. So you can write any 2 examples. Now 2H2 plus O2 gives 2H2O. This is a combination reaction. H plus O2 gives SO2. C plus O2 is CO2. Then CaO plus H2O. That gives 2 CaOH twice, that is calcium hydroxide, and CaO is calcium oxide. So calcium oxide plus water gives only one single product, that is calcium hydroxide. Then 2Mg plus O2 gives MgO, 2MgO, that means magnesium oxide is formed. So these are the easiest examples of combination reaction. Out of this, any 2 which you don't have to balance it, those reactions you select. So it is very easy for you to write in the exam. Then second reaction is decomposition reaction. Now decomposition reaction in which, the chemical reaction in which 2 or more reactants are formed from the single reactant. So one reactant is there and that is split up. Okay. So yesterday also I have given you the example of H2O. From H2O, H2 and O2 means hydrogen and oxygen you can separate out. But you have to pass the electric current. So that reaction is called electrolytic decomposition. It is not given in your textbook, but you have to remember this word, which is electrolytic decomposition, where the electric current is passed. Now here from water you cannot easily separate out hydrogen and oxygen. So you have to pass the current. So that is called electrolytic decomposition. So when electricity is passed through water, then using the voltmeter you can separate out hydrogen and oxygen. Then second is thermal decomposition, means just by heating, heat karke. Okay, so calcium carbonate, limestone or marble stone, calcium carbonate, heat it, so you can separate out calcium oxide, CaO and CO2. So from one reactant, the 2 or more products are formed. So that is called decomposition reaction. You can take many examples. I have written many examples here. I am giving you some of the examples to write, so that like HgO. HgO is mercury oxide. From HgO, Hg and O2 is separated just by heating. So that is the thermal decomposition. Even potassium chlorate, that also, but potassium chlorate, when you are preparing oxygen, that time you are using this potassium chloride and using a catalyst as a manganese dioxide as a catalyst, you can separate out potassium chloride and oxygen from that. So there are many reactions of decomposition. So in decomposition reaction, there are two types. One is electrolytic decomposition, in which by passing the electric current you can separate out or you can split up the elements. And another is just by heating. So that is called thermal decomposition. Now the third type is displacement reaction. The reaction in which the place of ion of a less reactive elements in a compound is taken by another more reactive elements by formation of its own ion. So some new substance is formed and that is called the displacement reaction. Example is no, I think I have not sent that page. Okay, I'll give you the examples here. I'll send these examples in the textbook also. I'll share the textbook also. 1 minute. You all can see the screen. Hello, I'm just sharing it, the textbook. Textbook, I'll share it now. In the textbook, the examples are given and I'll send on the WhatsApp also. Yesterday I have sent, I think in the previous, this thing has gone. Because someone has sent the message, I think Krish has sent the message that it is not visible. So I sent again. So in that all were not sent. See the displacement reaction. Yes, yes. Any problem? Now displace. Sovita. 1 minute. Arey bapre. 1 minute, 1 minute. Ajay, so many times I have to add Ajay. Every time he is disappearing. I have added now. Now 1 minute. किधर गया 10th standard? Where the 10th standard has gone, that group. 1 minute. Huh? Huh? Ah, yes, 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 yes. I got it. Now see the displacement reaction. Now Savita, you can hear? Hello, Savita. Ah, now come early from tomorrow. Okay? Don't come late. Let's see the displacement reaction in which the place of the ion of a less reactive element in a compound is taken by another more reactive element by formation of its own ion. That is called displacement reaction. Now here two examples are shown in your textbook. One is that copper sulfate plus Fe. That means the copper sulfate plus iron. So what is formed? You know in copper sulfate, copper is positively charged and sulfate is negatively charged. And plus Fe. Fe is also positively charged. So this Fe will react with sulfate and it will form FeSO4 and the copper will be displaced. Okay? Now second example is given copper sulfate plus Pb. Pb is the lead. So copper sulfate plus Pb. So Cu is positive, SO4 is negative and Pb is also positive. So this Pb will react with SO4 and PbSO4 will be formed and copper will be displaced. This way you can take any metal. You can take Zn also, zinc also. So zinc plus copper sulfate, it forms zinc sulfate and copper is displaced. Or you can take ferrous sulfate plus copper. Ferrous sulfate is FeSO4 plus copper. It forms copper sulfate and Fe is displaced. So this type of many examples are there and you can form your own examples also. You can write your own also. So not necessary that whatever is given in the textbook, the same examples only you have to write. Now the fourth reaction is double displacement reaction. Now yesterday I told you the example of the sodium hydroxide and HCl. Means you have learned in the 8th standard about the neutralization reaction. When acid reacts with the base, okay, so acid is HCl, hydrochloric acid, and the base is sodium hydroxide. When it reacts, what is formed? Salt and water is formed. So double displacement reaction in which the ions in the reactants are exchanged. So they mutually do the exchange of the ions and they form the new substances or the new products, or you can say they form the precipitates. So that is called the double displacement. So the one example which I told you, that is NaOH plus HCl, it gives NaCl. NaCl is salt and the water is H2O. You can write silver nitrate plus NaCl. See, silver nitrate is AgNO3 plus HCl. It gives silver chloride and NaNO3, that means sodium nitrate. So, which are the products? Silver chloride and sodium nitrate. Then BaSO4 plus potassium dichromate. So, it forms barium chromate, BaCrO4 and K2SO4, that is potassium sulfate. Then one more example is there, Na2SO4 plus BaCl2. It forms BaSO4 plus 2NaCl. So this type of different examples are there. So I have given this examples in your WhatsApp also, it has sent. But before that, one more thing you have to understand that there in this type also, the endothermic and exothermic process is also there. and the reactions endothermic and exothermic. What is the meaning of endothermic? Now endothermic means in this endothermic example like melting of ice is there or dissolution of potassium nitrate in water is there. In this reaction in which the heat is either absorbed from the surrounding or has to be supplied continuously from the outside. Okay, that is called endothermic reaction. Example, melting of ice is there, dissolution of potassium nitrate in water, or during the process of dissolution of potassium nitrate in water, heat from the surrounding is absorbed and therefore the temperature of the resulting solution is less. So the process in which the heat is absorbed from the outside, that is called the endothermic reaction. So in endothermic, the heat is absorbed. Now second process is exothermic reaction. Now in exothermic reaction, the reaction in which the heat is given away when reactants are transferred into the products, that is called exothermic. So here heat is given away. So formation of ice from water, dissolution of sodium hydroxide in water. Sodium hydroxide crystals if you will take and if you take in the test tube and add water in that, you will find that the test tube becomes hot. So here the heat is given out. Okay. And what you can do in endothermic where heat is absorbed. So you can take the ammonium chloride, put it in the water, you find that the test tube becomes cold. Now here when you are taking the sodium hydroxide crystals and adding water, the test tube becomes hot. That means the heat is given out. So that is exothermic. So you must know which are the exothermic reactions and the endothermic reactions. So in exothermic, the heat is absorbed, okay, from the surrounding, and in exothermic, the heat is given away. Okay, so the two differences are there. So there are so many examples are there. I am sending this all the examples. Now another type of reaction is oxidation reaction and the reduction reaction. Now oxidation reaction means the oxides are formed. The different oxides are formed in a chemical reaction in which the reactant combines with oxygen and or loses hydrogen to form a product, that is called oxidation reaction. Now you can write a simple example. Carbon plus oxygen, it gives carbon dioxide. So it is an oxidation reaction. Or magnesium 2Mg plus O2 gives 2MgO. So magnesium oxide is formed. It is an oxidation reaction. Okay. Then you can write copper plus oxygen. It forms copper oxide. Then you can write the magnesium hydride MgH2 plus Mg. It gives it separates out magnesium and hydrogen. So here in what is the meaning of oxidation reaction? In a chemical reaction in which the reactant combines with oxygen or loses hydrogen to form a product. So that is called oxidation reaction. Then reduction reaction, a chemical reaction in which the reactants gain hydrogen or loses oxygen to form the product. That is called reduction reaction. Now example you take mercury oxide. Mercury oxide when it is heated, from that mercury and oxygen is separated. Or you can take the another example, H2 plus Cl2 means hydrogen plus chlorine. It forms hydrogen chloride, HCl. Okay, so H2 plus Cl2 gives 2HCl. So that is the reduction reaction. So in reduction reaction what happens? It gains hydrogen or it loses oxygen. So loses oxygen, what is the example? HgO, mercury oxide. When it is heated, mercury and oxygen is separated. Then another example which gains hydrogen, H2 plus Cl2. So when hydrogen combines with chlorine, it forms hydrogen chloride, HCl. Then one more type of reaction is there, that is called redox reaction. A chemical reaction in which oxidation and reduction both takes place simultaneously. That is called redox reaction. Okay. So redox reaction examples are given. Copper oxide plus H2O, it gives copper plus H2O. So it separates copper and H2O. So that is called redox reaction. See, in your textbook, in detail it is, means they have not given in detail, but they have given many examples and you have to decide which is the oxidation reaction, which is the reduction reaction, which is the redox reaction. Now, one example which I told you about the redox reaction, it is copper oxide plus H2. It gives copper and H2O. So, when H2 forms H2O, that means the oxidation takes place because it combines with oxygen and it forms water. So that is the oxidation reaction. And which is the reduction reaction in that? Copper oxide, it reduces copper. So that is the reduction reaction. So the redox reaction in which both the oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously, that is called redox reaction. Now what is the catalyst? Now one example I gave you about the decomposition reaction, in that by using the catalyst you can separate out or you can prepare oxygen. What is, हाँ क्या वो मैंने जो व्हाट्सएप पे दिया है ना उस पे है ना, यार लास्ट पेज पे है सब कैटलिस्ट. ये देखो ये कैटलिस्ट का है. यू कैन सी द कैटलिस्ट. यस, नाउ यू कैन सी कैटलिस्ट. हेलो हेलो. Catalyst, then down oxidation reaction, reduction reaction. Now catalyst is what? The substance in whose the presence, in the presence of that substance, the rate of a chemical reaction changes without causing any chemical change. So that is called catalyst. So here when you are from the potassium chlorate, when you are decomposing this potassium chlorate, what happens in the presence of manganese dioxide, means you are adding little one pinch of manganese dioxide. What is the formula of manganese dioxide? It is MnO2. So when you are adding pinch of manganese dioxide, then the reaction takes place fast. That manganese dioxide is not actually taking part in the reaction, but it is helping to take the process takes place because of manganese dioxide fast, and the oxygen is liberated. So, from potassium chlorate, in the presence of manganese dioxide, you just have to heat it. So, what is formed? Potassium chloride is formed and oxygen is liberated. So, first it was there, now the syllabus is changed. First preparation of oxygen was there. Arey baap re. हेलो.
हेलो.
हाँ ज्वाइन
हेलो मिस.
हाँ ज्वाइन करो.
अच्छा मिस कर रहा हूँ.
हाँ ज्वाइन. हाँ हाँ, बाकी सब कहाँ गए? अभी गायब हो गए। Yes, everyone join fast. बाकी सब कहाँ है? Join. हेलो।
हेलो।
वैष्णवी जरा कर ना बाबा, हे काय आहे?
झाली ना मीटिंग.
नाही नाही, घे. आज फारच कमी झालंय. आता जॉईन झालेले, परत काय झालं त्या मीटिंगचं बघ जरा. मी रिस्टार्ट केलेलं, 2दा ऍडमिट पण केलेलं, 3 जणांना.